Ooh, boy, well, today we are talking about an issue that was started by the Vancouver Canucks. My favorite hockey team going out there destroying hopes and dreams of other teams and other fan bases. Now, I get it, it's only been 2 games. It really has. It's a small sample size. The rest of the 80 games in the season, we could see no problems and things will be okay. But today what I wanted to talk about was the Edmonton Oilers and their goaltending situation. Take a look at the first 2 games in which the Oilers played off against the Vancouver Canucks. On Wednesday, you had yourselves a stomping of Vancouver, 8-1 Vancouver victory at Rogers Arena, and the goaltending in this showcase was not great. Jack Campbell had 16 shots against, and he made 12 saves, so 4 goals against, .750 save percentage, and Stuart Skinner had exactly the same thing. 4 goals against, 16 shots against, 12 saves, .750 save percentage. Vancouver wins 8-1. Everybody in Edmonton is panicking. Okay, we just gotta wait till Saturday. That's when McDavid, that's when Draisaitl, that's when everybody's gonna wake up. That's when the defense is gonna wake up. And that's when hopefully our goaltending is gonna be better than .750. Well, Saturday comes and Stuart Skinner plays again. No Jack Campbell this time. Skinner stays in the entire showcase, but the Vancouver Canucks win 4-3. And Skinner once again allows 4 goals on 16 shots. .750 save percentage once again, and that's kind of weird. How the hell is this even possible? Where you play 2 games, in one of them you use both goalies, and in the second game you use one goalie, but each goalie in each showcase lets in 4 goals on 16 shots exactly. Vancouver has done the 16-16-16 thing with Campbell and then Skinner again, all while these goalies are letting up 4 goals apiece. Like, that's kind of crazy when you think about it statistically speaking, and I get it, you could say there were some goals that weren't the goalie's fault. Oh, what can you do about tip-ins in front? What can you do about deflections? What can you do about 2-on-0s? That's not Stuart Skinner's fault that it's Pettersson and Studnicka coming in on him alone, Darnell Nurse completely abandoning his check. But with this idea in mind, I'm seeing a lot of panic when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers and their goaltending. Because so far, throughout the 2 games, both of these guys, Skinner and Campbell, have posted up .750 save percentages. And if you take a look at the goals against averages, they're even worse because these goalies didn't play the full game in Game 1. Splitting the load, they each allowed 4 goals against. So their numbers are all the way down there. Jack Campbell is at an 8.7 goals against average at the time of recording this audio. Stuart Skinner is a bit better because he played a little bit more, but he's at a 5.33. So these guys are still doing poorly statistically, and the question now becomes, do the Oilers go after Linus Ullmark of the Boston Bruins? And yeah, that's a great segue. I know it was very sudden, but I wanted to bring up this article published on Boston Hockey Now by Jamie Murphy from October 12th. Bruins trade talk. Will the Oilers call about Ullmark? Now you gotta remember, this article was published on the 12th. This was made after just the first game. The first game in which Vancouver won 8-1, and both Campbell and Skinner let in 4 goals each. The ideas in this article could be exacerbated even more by what happened Saturday night, and we're in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Stuart Skinner does it again and has an exact same repeat performance. Let's read what this article says about Bruins goalie Linus Ullmark. Could the Oilers GM Ken Holland be calling Bruins GM about Linus Ullmark to see if he could go back onto the trade market? The Oilers' goaltending was an absolute tire fire in their season opener. Yeah, we know. As expected, Oilers fans and the media that cover the team were in overreaction mode, with the Oilers coming into this season as a Stanley Cup favorite. Thankfully, a veteran NHL GM like Holland isn't going to panic and make a hasty trade. However, with this season seeming like the window is wide open for McDavid and Draisaitl to finally bring the cup back to Edmonton, a smart hockey operations guy like Ken Holland isn't going to wait long if his goalie is once again the Achilles heel of the team. I can tell you right now, a few more of those from either goalie and Kenny is on the horn looking for a goalie, an executive NHL source told Boston Hockey Now Thursday night. And okay, yeah, that was Thursday. Well, this video is being recorded after Saturday, which means that there was another bad performance by Stuart Skinner. Would Holland be looking into one of the rumored goalies available on the NHL market, or is he swinging for the fences to try to get an established one like Linus Ullmark? If he's getting a goalie, he's getting the solution, not a stopgap, the same source opined. I heard they've definitely looked in on Ullmark and Swayman over the summer, so if that's true, Kenny is calling Donnie soon. Maybe. And so according to the NHL sources that are communicating with Boston Hockey Now, Ken Holland has indeed looked at Swayman and Ullmark throughout the summer. And if it gets to a point where you see more just total duds by Skinner and Campbell, maybe there is an extended possibility that Holland reignites those trade conversations and wants to get this deal done. Linus Ullmark, as we all recognize, is... okay, I was gonna say one of the best goalies in the NHL, and I don't think that's necessarily wrong to talk about statistically, but Ullmark was a guy that really took a while to become as good as he is right now. He was a goalie up and down in the AHL for a few years before becoming a mainstay guy over there. And sure, he posted up pretty alright numbers, but it wasn't until this previous year with Boston where he had his .938 save percentage season, 189 goals against. The guy only lost 7 games in the 49 games he played in the regular season. Those numbers are crazy. But the Boston Bruins themselves were also crazy good, so you could understand why there may be some inflation, there may be some, I don't want to say that Ullmark was just playing on a good team and reaping the benefits of that, but he was a good player on a good team. We'll just leave it at that. And if the Edmonton Oilers were to get a guy like Linus Ullmark onto their team, he definitely would be the best goaltender in the system. I mean, look, the article says at the bottom, it's not known if Edmonton is part of Ullmark's modified no-trade clause, and there's also a question as to whether or not he'd be able to uplift his family now, even if it meant a likely better shot at the Stanley Cup. Oh, really? Okay. That's interesting to see. Yeah, the Oilers apparently have a better shot at the Stanley Cup than the Boston Bruins do. There's also the question of whether or not the Oilers, who have $399,000 in cap space, and the Bruins, who have $500,000 in cap space, can pull off a trade with Ullmark, who is in the third year of a 4-year contract that carries a $5 million AAV cap hit. So, there's a lot of information there, but essentially the idea is the Oilers' goaltending has not been great, and the Oilers have shown interest in Ullmark before. So, my question to you is this. How bad has the Oilers goaltending duo been so far, and is it as bad that articles like this being made are justified? I'm not going to go out there and say that Skinner and Campbell are due to bounce back, that they're guaranteed to finishing off the season with 915 plus save percentages and these first 2 games against Vancouver were just flukes, but I will give some sort of a benefit of a doubt. Even the most recent game, you could say that Skinner letting in 2 deflections off of Andrei Kuzmenko and Nils Höglander, a 2-on-0 goal against Jack Studnicka and Elias Pettersson, you could say those are not his fault. Totally fine. But good goalies find themselves ways to make the saves that are impossible to make. And they rarely let in shots where you say, yeah, no, you should have had that. The Lafferty goal, he's charging in right by Mattias Ekholm, who did not play in the preseason nor training camp, and it looked like he didn't play those two in this previous game. Sam Lafferty blitzes by Ekholm and then just drives to the net, shoots it, and it goes right through Skinner. That is not a goal that you want to see your goalies letting in. Jack Campbell the other night, first game against Vancouver. Connor Garland, okay, streaking in by himself, deke to the backhand. You would like Campbell to save that, but Garland had a bit of speed. I mean, that's not the worst play in the world to give up a goal on. The Brock Besser snipe, that was top corner. Campbell had no chance, he just did not get square in time. And then the other 2 Brock Besser goals. I mean, the puck goes off a Miller in front, and Besser is there to bat in the rebound, so no real chance for Campbell there. And then the last one, a Pettersson pass from the corner goes off of Besser's skate and in. Like, that's not Campbell's fault. But at the same time, the numbers still reflect so poorly on both of these guys that articles like these are being made, and now we're talking about it here on YouTube. So thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Stuart Skinner and Jack Campbell? What are your thoughts on how they're going to progress this season? And should the Oilers go after a guy like Linus Ullmark? If you're a Bruins fan, what's the trade price you think is appropriate here? Would you even consider trading Ullmark away and going with Swayman full-time? If you're an Oilers fan, is Ullmark the guy you want to chase? Ken Holland, Don Sweeney, y'all's turns are up next. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And Bye.